My back. What we have here is a matter of humiliation and human kindness. Dumbbells. You leave me no other choice. You're welcome.
You're slowing down. Come on, cowboy. Bring it.
Corey, welcome back to the program. I would love to get your response to Gavin Newsom. He was big hurt and big mad that ICE was enforcing our immigration laws right outside of his little, very poorly attended rally.
Well, Ben, he was either mad about that or mad about the hat that he received in the mail, which I think is the greatest troll of all time, right? I mean, you got to be kidding me. Nobody sees Gavin Newsom as a serious individual anymore, because what he has done is he has allowed California to become a hellhole, unfortunately. It used to be a great state, a great, so many great cities there, San Diego, San Francisco, so many great places. And what happens? You go there now, it's riddled with homeless people. They've taken over the city. They've taken over the communities. It's unsafe, just like Washington, D.C. So what has Donald Trump done? He's brought the Customs and Border Patrol and the Immigration and Customs Enforcement into Los Angeles to start cracking down. And what have we seen? Safer communities. Benny, a story came out yesterday, and it's remarkable. Since Donald Trump has been in office, 1.6 million illegals have deported from this country, either through the CBP Home app or self-deported. 1.6 million, 2.2 million total people, but 1.6 million people in the first 6 months of this administration from January to June is historic. It's unprecedented, and it makes our country safer.
We have the chart going up, and here it is right there. We have the chart going up that you just referenced, and I'd love to, since you brought it up, Corey, talk through this chart. I'm sure you're very proud of it. I know you're very proud of it. So here you can see, for the first time in your lifetime or mine, everyone watching, that the criminal alien population is now collapsing. It's reversing the trend. Where do you want this chart to go, Corey?
Look, Benny, we should have a country that has no illegal aliens in it. And it's very simple. If you are fearful because you're in this country illegally, do yourself a favor and self-deport. We will help you. We will give you an opportunity to go to the CBP Home app. You can apply. We'll buy you an airline ticket. We'll give you $1,000 so you can get out. If you don't, I promise you this, we will find you. There is no community, there is no place that the long arm of the law, which is now being enforced, cannot go and touch you. If you think you're outside a Gavin Newsom rally, or maybe inside a Gavin Newsom rally, and we know that you're there illegally, we will come get you, we will take you out, and we will deport you. Stop calling all of these supposed congressmen who are conservatives and senators who are conservatives. This guy's a good one, or that one's a good one. Look, you've had the opportunity to do it right. And Donald Trump is enforcing the rules. Okay, I get calls every single day from people across the country. Oh, this guy was a great one, or that one was a great one. They were in this country for the last 30 years. It's fantastic. You came to the country illegally. You're here illegally. Nobody is off limits. We're going after the worst of the worst first. We just picked up 2 brothers in Texas who are both wanted for murder in Mexico. We have deported gang members, rapists, child traffickers. It will continue to happen, and we're only turning this up. It's not coming down. So if you look at that, Benny, for the first time in modern history, we have a net flow deportation of illegals from this country for the first time in American history. It's going to save this country.
We have that chart on screen. This is perhaps the most important chart out of the Trump administration in the first 6 months. And so this is a really fascinating argument that happens all the time in my timeline, Corey, that you brought up, which is, the argument against all these deportations. And it often goes like this, and they can't help themselves. Who's going to scrub my toilets? This is something that was said on The View a couple of years ago. Who's going to pick our crops? Both Nancy Pelosi and Jerry Nadler have both said, who's going to pick our crops? Who's going to be the indentured servitude, exploitative labor that we can manipulate and use and treat as less than human? It's wild how they argue this, Corey.
Well, it's so true, and then what do? They go out and they praise that the crime rate in Washington, D.C. is the lowest it's been in 30 years when the murder rate is higher than any civilized country on the planet. It's amazing. These guys are continuing to defend the worst of the worst. I think they're tone deaf. I don't think they truly understand where the American people are. Nobody wants criminals, rapists, drug dealers in their communities. And so Donald Trump has said, let's use the resources. The whole of government approach is what we're using. So it's the local law enforcement community in many of these places who are willing to partner with us. It's CBP, it's ICE, it's DEA on the streets, it's FBI on the streets in Washington, D.C. And again, what have the Democrats said? DC does not have a problem. We saw yesterday them tearing down these homeless camps. We saw for the first time you can walk out of Union Station and not be accosted by a bunch of homeless people and drug addicts and illegal gang members. So, you know what? The communities are safe. And listen, Benny, this was maybe precipitated. Maybe the piece that put this over the top was Big Balls getting attacked that night, but it was long coming. And Benny, it's crazy because I was on a phone call with some of the members of the White House and they told me the guy's name. I said, who the hell is that guy? And they said, oh, the guy's name is Big Balls. Everyone knows Big Balls, but no one knows his real name. But the truth is this, right? Hey, everybody loves to have a Big Balls on their team. And I will say this guy took one for the team. He was brutally beaten, blood all over the place because all he wanted to do was get in his vehicle. And I've got two other people who I know who are young kids who work with us who said on the same evening in two separate parts of Washington, D.C. less than 4 months ago, they were both attacked at gunpoint. They both lost their watches and their gold chains. They were coming out of a bar. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, fella, what are you doing out 2 in the morning? They said, we thought we were in the right neighborhood. We thought we were safe. We've seen members of Congress attacked. We've seen elected officials. We saw an individual who worked on Capitol Hill get killed by somebody because they wouldn't turn over their watch. I mean, this is not a place where you want to raise your children anymore. And so finally, President Trump, Pam Bondi, the Department of Homeland Security stepping up to fix these problems that the federal government is finally allowed to do under this type of leadership.
We ruffled a few feathers and made some people very mad, Jen Psaki, namely, off the top, but many libs furious because this week we asked at the press conference about Big Balls getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom. What say you, Corey? You've been a very close advisor to the president for a very long time.
Look, maybe just if we could pick it just on name alone, he absolutely qualifies. Just anybody who's got a name that good, you got to give him something, right? He's got to get an award or something good. But look, what happened, and it's unfortunate, was this kid was put in a situation to be attacked because he wanted to go and protect his girlfriend. That could have been anybody. The guy was brutally beaten. He was bloody all over the place. He had a concussion. Nobody should have to go through that just because you want to go out and have a good time or go out and have a drink or go out and have dinner with your family. Look, I have purposely chosen not to move my family to Washington, D.C., not to raise my kids there. We continue to live in the same home we've been in New Hampshire for the last 18 years.
Wow.
Because we want to be in a safe community. And I feel very safe where we are. But it's too bad because I spend a lot of time in Washington, D.C. volunteering to be a special government employee, which, maybe you've seen some of the press. They don't like the fact that I volunteer, Benny. Like, I get they could go after me if I was making money, but for God's sake, I work for free. And they're like, oh, you work too many days. Too many days? I'm not even there. Jesus, what's that big deal? But, everybody wants to attack you, and I think they want to attack me and what we're doing because of our success, because they see the Democrats are in panic mode. They know that the country is with Donald Trump. They know that he is creating peace around the planet, and he's creating peace and prosperity here in America, and that drives them absolutely crazy.
So we're talking about big balls. It takes some real big balls to release a video like you did yesterday, Corey. These brand new trucks, DHS, getting this incredible makeover. Look at this. This is iced out. Now, I don't know who runs your social media, man, but don't take his phone. Give him 10 more phones. This stuff is so crunky. It's so drippy. I don't know if you have a hand in it. I'm sure you did with this redesign. Defend the Homeland. Corey, this is on the block.
Look, Benny, and look what we're driving. We're driving Raptors with the big engine, the 6.2s in them, okay? So they say, hey, you want to go and come and be part of the best law enforcement agency in the world, right? You want to come and be part of CBP and ICE and the federal government? We're going to give you the resources to be successful. So we could have gone out and bought some crappy cars. Said, no more Crown Vics, none of that crap. Go out and buy the big boys. Get the Raptor with the big engine. The Mustangs are about to turn out, okay? The high-performance Mustangs. We're going to give these men and women of law enforcement the tools they need to be successful. And what we're also doing, Benny, is we're putting a marker down, okay? We've never had ICE decal vehicles before. We've always done it behind the scenes. We are now in your face. You know where we're coming. You know where we're going to be. And you know if you're here illegally, we will find you. So you're going to see 10,000 new officers on the street from ICE by the first of this calendar year coming up. We're not waiting 2 years or 3 years. We've got 120,000 applicants. And what we're telling these people is, you come join us. We'll give you a bonus. We'll pay off your college loans. We'll give you a vehicle like this. You come and make our cities and our communities safer and stronger, and we'll do it. These kids who have the social media expertise, man, I'm jealous. I get to meet some of these kids. And I call them kids because they're like 22, 23 years old. Mr. Lewandowski, sir, you're an old head. I go, that's true. I am an old head, right? That's what they call me. But I said, man, what you guys are doing is incredible. Keep doing all the great work. And this is all that social media team at the Department of Homeland Security that just keeps turning out amazing videos that are eye-catching and drawing people in to be part of this amazing experience.
I think you just broke a little news there. We heard that Superman has already signed up to be an ICE agent. We know that you've taken away the age restrictions to become an ICE agent. You said there, did I get this number right? You said there's 100,000 applicants?
110,000 applicants have already applied, Benny. What that means is we want to hire it's a floor of 10,000. That's what the One Big Beautiful Bill gave us. 10,000 officers on the street. Stephen Miller and his team have encouraged us, demanded, because the president wants it, to have those men and women on the job by January 1st of 2026 so we can see real results. That means we've got a massive throughput. We're going to get you through the law enforcement training. You'll do some on-the-job training. You'll do your field training officer time. You'll get vehicles. We're going to have 10,000 law enforcement ICE officers, 1811s, 1801s, badge and gun on the street by January 1st. And I don't think we could have imagined how successful this recruitment campaign is. And I think, Benny, today is Friday. The new recruitment ads in the communities that have been most affected by illegal aliens are going up. So you'll see them in Los Angeles, in Detroit, in Denver. And we are specifically targeting those law enforcement officers who are working at the state and local level and saying, because you're in sanctuary jurisdictions, if you haven't been able to do your job, come work for ICE, come work for CBP. We will take the handcuffs off of you and put them on bad guys, and you'll help us do it.
There it is, straight from the U.S., straight from the ICE account, the official ICE account. You got Superman now as an ICE agent. There we go. Dean Cain has signed up. What work is he going to be doing?
Look, Dean, there's a lot of guys.
He's a friend of the show. He's a friend of the show. He comes on the show. So can you tell us?
Here's the thing. Do you know how many guys, how many women out there are dying to be part of the law enforcement community? By raising that age restriction, if you want to come do it, this is your opportunity. We also said, listen, if you're 18 years old and you're a qualified kid, let's come and join us, right? If you've had previous law enforcement experience, and this is really where we're seeing a massive increase. You know, a lot of law enforcement officers get on the job very early. They start in at 20 or 21. They get their 20 years. And by 40 or 42, they're done. They've got their pension, but they got a lot more to give. They got a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience. We said, come back and join us. We'll waive most of the requirements because you've got that background in law enforcement. We'll run you through a quick training program. You'll be back on the street. And we are seeing a massive, massive influx of those previous law enforcement officers who want to continue to serve their country and make our community safe again.
You brought up something very interesting, and since California is in the news right now, I have to ask because it was pretty rowdy over the last month in Los Angeles. We saw an enormous amount of criminal behavior. We also saw attempted murder on some of your agents. That's what I call it. I'm no lawyer, Corey, but when somebody gets a brick, right, and they chuck it at your car, and the car is driving 45 miles per hour, you're trying to murder the driver, because that brick goes through the windshield and kills you. That's what happens, right? So you as a former law enforcement agent, I know that this is going to mean something to you. And what I'd like to ask is, will we be seeing those LA-style riots again? You said you're going to increase the presence significantly in Los Angeles and in these hotspots. What is your message to protesters that are coming out to try and commit attempted murder on your officers?
Well, it's very simple. And we saw this in Washington, D.C. 2 days ago. If you hit a law enforcement officer with a Subway sandwich, a pickle, or anything else, we're going to take you, we're going to prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law. So just understand this. You have a right to protest. Of course you do, but you will do so in a manner commensurate with what the law allows. And as soon as you decide to lay your hands or throw something at a law enforcement officer, the president all the way down to the rank and file officer understands what's at stake, which is the protection of our law enforcement community. And Jeanine Pirro in Washington, D.C. set an amazing example this week. We've all seen the video now. By the way, the Department of Justice employee throws a Subway sandwich at a police officer. They chase this guy down. They charge him with a felony. They fire him from his job. That's what you can expect. When you attack law enforcement, there are repercussions. When you throw stones or bricks or anything at a law enforcement vehicle, when you slash their tires, we will charge you to the fullest extent of the law. We've got a great U.S. attorney in Los Angeles who continues to prosecute these cases. We're going to make sure that if you are doing things against our law enforcement, then you will be held accountable. And this is not going to be simply contained in Los Angeles. I want everybody to understand the Trump administration is bringing this path across this country to make sure every sanctuary city understands that we can touch people at any place, at any time, and that the residents who are here legally should have an opportunity to enjoy the freedoms that they deserve. And we will do that by putting police officers on the streets to protect them.
Wonderful. Corey, I'd just like for you to, in conclusion here, because I know your time is very valuable, I'd like for you to respond to Gavin, who, again, was very upset about your engagement yesterday outside of his little rally, but also very upset about this. This is the Trump 2028 hat. I don't know if this is a real video or just a meme. Maybe it is a meme. There's a lot of memes of Gavin Newsom wearing a Trump 2028 hat. Did you send him the hat? Was it you, Corey? Was it you who sent him the hat? Can you tell our audience?
I wish I did it. I would love to take credit for it. I probably know who did it. I think I know who did it, but I'll tell you what, it's the epic troll. And the reality is Gavin Newsom understands that he continues to promulgate and perpetuate hatred against police officers when, he's a man who is surrounded by police everywhere he goes. Right. He is covered up in police at the governor's mansion, that no one just shows up at his community, at his home whenever they feel like it. Right. If he is so adverse to having police officers everywhere, he is allowed to just waive those individuals. He's allowed to drive himself around. He's allowed to not live behind those big, beautiful gates that the taxpayers pay for. And he's allowed to stay at French Laundry anytime he wants and be accosted by all those people, which, he's never going to do. So he's a guy who loves to talk out of both sides of his mouth, where he sits there and harasses police officers and tells them they shouldn't be doing their job, and then he immediately gets in his armored plated car and gets behind his gates as quickly as possible.
Man, it's just wild that you guys knew that there were so many criminal aliens in California and Los Angeles specifically that you could just do an enforcement right out front. There's
no shortage of targets, Benny. I can tell you that, whether it's at a Gavin Newsom rally. So the 3 people who were inside, 2 of them were probably illegal. So he had a crowd of 3, I think. 2 of them were probably illegal, and so we scooped those guys up.
No, if you are a criminal alien in this country, listen to what Corey's been telling our program for months and years, actually, that you will be caught and you will be sent home. You should listen to him. He's an honest man. Listen to Corey Lewandowski. You can do that every single day by subscribing here to Corey's X account. Here he is. This is Corey Lewandowski. He's got 600,000 Americans that follow him right here. And he's a man who's truly fighting to keep America safe again. Thank you, Corey.
Thanks, Benny.